Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Will. Hopefully, you're having a great day today. So, let's get into the markets today. You can see some big movements in AI, in quantum, and in tech. Some of the things that we're looking at today in our live session for Stockmate, where we went live at market open this morning, was this sell off here on CTM stock. This is an AI stock that's driven by some of the large data, the large language model uh, trends that are happening. Sold off 10% at market open while the rest of the market was pushed up. Almost all stocks were up today. We ended up buying this dip at 87 cents and rode it all the way up to $1.02 before selling. And we made about $365 profit to start the day. So we had a really good day here, and we also were able to capitalize on some movements from Nvidia. We saw some movements from Microsoft as well. So you could see Cooler stock was up 9% today. You could see Big Bear AI up about 5%, and then Palantir and others are up pretty big as well. So overall, market's looking big. You got to ask yourself, is this pricing in for what could be a big recovery in the markets over the next few days? On this announcement that's coming out later today, Wednesday after hours. Today is Wednesday after hours. You got Nvidia reporting earnings, and then you also have IONQ from the quantum space reporting earnings. These are really anticipated earnings. The other one that just came out earlier, I know Andres inside of our Stockmate community was trading this one this morning. INVZ reported earnings and they beat earnings. Now that's a penny stock. It's still at like 96 cents, but it was doing really good. You saw it up about 10 or 15%, I believe, at one point today. But overall, Nvidia, if they report positive earnings, let's say they double revenue like they've been doing consistently, we would expect to see the entire market surge. Now, if you guys want exciting earnings like this, full breakdowns with all of the price targets for every stock, again, it's that second link in the description to join Stockmate if you want to join us in our live sessions each morning at market open. So one of the things we'll be watching here as we get into the day, some of the sell-offs that we've seen almost looked like institutional selling. We saw sell-offs big at market open yesterday. So if you go over, like, let's take a look at Tesla and you drop back to the 1 week, we're seeing this big sell-off at market open. And then we see more sell-offs right before market close. Why does that happen? Well, oftentimes it's institutions. They're getting ready to go home for the day. They're getting ready to end their trading day, and they just schedule their orders to sell, before market open or at market open. And big institutions were selling off. Look at this after hours move from Tesla, just selling off huge from 330 down to under 200 or under $300 a share. And now it's almost struggling to hold. But today it started to recover a little bit after a dip. Potentially could play Tesla today. This actually looks like a trade we might want to play. So potentially a recovery there. One announcement that came out earlier related to Elon's, some people say it's like conflict of interest, which it kind of is. But his Starlink signed a contract with the FAA. So they're going to be working with FAA on a 4,000 Starlink satellites sent to FAA. Basically, FAA testing out the satellite internet for their operation. So that should be interesting. One other thing is, you might say, Will, market's selling off. You see this pullback. Is this a push up before the rest of the S&P 500 continues to sell down? It's possible. And if you guys hear any noise in the background, I'm at a cafe. We just arrived in Miami, and since our airplane got in pretty early, we're actually waiting to check into our place here in Miami Beach. And so we're on the move in a cafe today for our live session in Stockmate and here on YouTube as well. So you might say, this sell-off from the market, is this just temporary? We're going to see more sell-offs. It's possible that we do. Now, there's some restoration and confidence of the US dollar. And part of that is coming as a result of decreased spending and decreased investments in things, or basically tracking our money better in the government. Now, some people see this as conflict of interest, like we talked about with Elon and Doge. Others see this as, if we're already starting to save money in the government, we're starting to track our spending, it could enhance the confidence the US dollar, that we're not just aimlessly spending it in places that we shouldn't be, or not tracking the money after we do spend it. So that's something to consider with SPY, or the broader market. And when it comes to the institution selling off, we could see that continue. I think it's possible market sells off. But the thing too is the US dollar becoming stronger. I believe we saw Canada and other countries like the Europe, uh, uh, the um, the Great Britain pound, and some others start to lose a little bit of advantage, or weight against the US dollar. Even saw Bitcoin drop quite a bit. It's down to 87K, and that happened in the past months. Now, you have to say, like, if Bitcoin, really the past week, if Bitcoin's dropping and all these, what is Bitcoin relative to? A lot of it's US dollar, right? That's how it's kind of measured. And so if the US dollar becomes stronger, that is a key factor. But we also have institutions selling, so that's another factor. US dollar confidence means asset prices aren't going to soar as high as fast. Nevertheless, if we continue to see more investment, more value creation in this AI boom, for example, Nvidia's earnings today, if they manage to double revenue again, then we're going to see, obviously, the market's going to be carried by Nvidia. I could see that as something that potentially could happen. But if that doesn't happen, they just come up short or something, the innovation side of things, we know it's going to continue, but we could see some continued sell-offs in the markets. The other thing that just happened was an announcement from Apple. I don't know if you guys saw this. Apple 500 billion. Is that right? So 2 days ago, Apple announces it's spending 500 billion in the US over the next 4 years. So they're talking about facilities to expand in Michigan, Texas, California, Arizona, Nevada, Iowa, Oregon, North Carolina, and Washington. It's going to have a new factory in Texas, doubling advanced manufacturing fund. So one thing to consider, U.S. Tariffs or slapping tariffs on China or what have you, that's going to make more companies basically build infrastructure and invest in building their products in the US. And when that happens, yes, inflation could hit. And the people that aren't invested in assets might see that as something that affects them. It could negatively affect them. If they're not holding assets, they're going to see prices of goods potentially go up because of the US manufacturing, and meaning increased cost of goods. But asset prices will continue to rise. I would expect the markets to continue to grow, and real estate, Bitcoin, and everything else. US dollar confidence could grow a little bit, but inflation will continue to go the way that it's going. I believe it's just been reported that they're around like just under 3%. Job reports didn't look that good. Quarter over quarter, like a tad bit better, but still not good year over year. Still down a little bit from the recovering from the C word that happened back in 2020 to 2023. So we'll see what happens over the next few weeks in the market. But again, I could see a recovery start to take place. We saw SPY sell off pretty big from all-time highs. It's down to this support 589 and started to recover a little bit today over the past few weeks. So we'll see how that looks. The other part of Quantum is Quantum was up big, and we have those earnings today with IONQ. So make sure to watch out if you're in StockMate and you're checking out the earnings over here. You can see IONQ is reporting earnings today. Is quantum computing being used more? That's something we're going to have to see in their earnings today. Maybe they're pricing in. We see them up 2.5% so far today. I see QBTS is up 9%. Rigetti's up 6%. So quantum computing has a nice bounce and recovery today, and we'll do a deeper analysis on these as they progress throughout the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to join us in that live session or see a sample preview of what it's like, it's that second link in the description. I would encourage you guys to simply take a look. And you can see my entries, my exits, like this trade today that we made nearly $400. Not a massive trade, but still pretty good. Portfolio's up about 9.56% so far today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all. And if I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.